Now it comes out.
Stupid. I'll call you stupid all day and all night. Because you're nothing but a creepy fucking stalker. And I'm back out.
Poor Sweet Pea, she's all Twitter pated. Why are y'all Twitter pated, Sweet Pea? Sweet Pea, you dirty whore, why are you Twitter pated?
I must be missing all the fun. I just walked out here, just got home from work, and apparently Maytag wants to do what to me?
I don't know, Maytag is infatuated with your penis tonight. I'm not sure really what his deal is, but he really likes your penis.
Just remember, well, my penis doesn't talk on the radio, so I'd appreciate it if you leave my penis out of it when I'm not even here.
Well, that's why, I don't know where you came from, you weren't here, but he keeps talking about you. It's been like 2 hours now, and every word that's come out of his mouth has been ow, 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 ow. I think he's in love with you.
Alright, guess what time it is?
It's Maytag back the fuck out time.
Time for a Beavis.
Time for Maytag to be back the fuck out.
Alright. I bet that thing's going back quiet about now.
Yeah, I could hear you before.
Mess.
You're louder, but I could hear you before just fine too.
Yeah, I imagine you could hear me before, but you probably hear me better now.
Yeah, 10.
Probably working a whole lot better. I'm getting on the old station here. Got to get in here once in a while, fired it up. See if it works.
Gotta knock the cobwebs off.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of the deal. Make sure it still functions till I get the new setup completely set up.
Poor Sweet Pea. Yeah.
You know, just walk over here a couple hundred feet and key up the old station.
She is a piece of shit.
Hey, Beavis.
Woo, yeah.
When Bill and Hillary have sex, you know why Hillary's on top all the time?
Oh, Christ, no.
Because Bill can only fuck up.
Oh, Christ.
You should do something with that. That was cool.
Happy PT town. It sounds like they're comparing dicks up there tonight. Must be getting ready for the weekend.
I think Sweet Pea's got a bigger one.
Yeah, the weekend is coming quick.
What a drop. Yeah, go ahead. I'm done it now.
Alrighty then.
Don't worry about it. Well, at least Maytag stopped talking about Al's penis for a while. That's good.
Go have another beer, you drunk. Go smoke another doobie of pot. Don't worry about it. Worry about you. You don't like it, turn your radio off. You stop drunk.
shut up too. You don't like hearing you shut up. How much you shut up? Both you shut up.
Everyone shut up. Everyone shut up. Poor baby. Poor baby. What a sad life.
What a lady.
Sad, sad, sad.
Damn, I saw the light bulb over here.
What a loser.
That's what I was saying. What a loser.
Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? I'm not locking anything over here. You guys are the ones with the problem. If you can't put down the alcohol and you don't know how to keep a man, we'll find a man. Find a man. Long hole can't keep us. Deep cutters now. Long hole can't keep a big fatty out of his mouth.
And you can't keep a cock out of your mouth.
There's my dirty girl.
She's in there.
She can't hear me though.
Don't do that, Beavis.
I cannot. So she got Captain on the 17.
Can't afford to get out of this. The broke bitch. How could I be so broke with better radio equipment? How could I be so
Hey, Beavis.
Dave.
If you explained it to her, she'd probably let you give her a rosebud.
Alright. It might cost me. I don't think that's free.
You don't know until you try.
Well, after you try, you might not want to find out what you know then. You can't unsee some shit. Or get rid of some shit. Some things you just get stuck with for life. Like my fan club.
How about a popcorn? How about a popcorn? Yeah. Pick it up out there. How about a popcorn? Pick it up. You're gonna have to pump it up. Maybe just across the street.
Hey, Beavis. Hey, don't get me wrong. I don't want you to think I care. But is Barefoot still alive?
Yeah, I see him around every once in a while. I mean, I see his RV. I don't actually see him, but yeah, he's still moving around. He stays a couple days over here, still, and then moves over there. He's got like a little routine, I guess you call it. His RV's still moving around, so yeah, he's still alive.
Don't get me wrong, I don't care or anything. I was just curious.
Funny, Dave. Don't let me give you the impression I care, but I do.
You can have it both ways.
We're actually doing shit. while we're listening to you guys babble.
Alrighty then.
That I still owes me 20 for the pills yesterday.
You should be ashamed even talking MAD after what he did to Mickey T. That's just shameful.
What do you do to Mickey T? But I thought Mickey T was dead.
Because he's a bully, he's a creep, he goes over there and hits people. What kind of person does that?
He hit him?
I don't know, hit people with fights.
He's trying to start up trouble from that.
I thought Mickey T was an old man. That's not right.
I ain't the bully out there.
He is an old man.
She's into necrophilia. She likes to fuck the dead.
Whoa.
They're picking on girls, right?
No, can you hear Sweet Pea out?
People with fucking metal.
Yeah, I can hear him. I sure can now.
I bet you can.
I got all kinds of ears going on now.
Who said I...
On the real antenna? Uh-huh.
You repeated it over now. It's not true. You want...
Can you tell?
Yeah, I mean, you're not that much louder over there, but your signal's a lot stronger. Your audio, though, I mean, I got a good signal on you no matter what, so your audio's always there.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, this one might not have quite the audio the other one does, but, you know, it does have a little bit more going for it.
Yeah, the other one's about 7 S units on my meter over here, and this one's just over the 9, so you got a little bit into the red with that one.
Alrighty then.
We thinking you're all that. Picking on sabotage. That's bullshit, man. Come on, grow up. I can do whatever the fuck I want there, Robbie. You ain't gonna grow up, man. Lay down. Grow up, man. What's the weed, man? How much you spend in the weed shit?
Yeah, what are you doing? Spend away.
If he can do whatever he wants, maybe he should start by growing up.
Yep, that's spun away. The people up there in Spunaway, they say you can do anything you want, except my mom.
Yeah, they got quite the mess going on up there in Pierce County. I'm not quite comparing it to Thurston County Rodeo, but it's getting there. It's getting there.
I was to get all the meth heads in one spot. Too many meth heads in one county.
Smoking for a month.
Coffee and a joint.
You haven't passed shit. Here, buddy.
You park over at the Dollar Tree and sleep in it. I'm talking to you right now, aren't I? Oh, you want to come outside for Sour Patch? Sour Patch is calling the wrong way out, and you won't even come out for her. What a pussy.
Rub that sour puss down with some honey. It'll be okay. You can have sweet and sour pussy.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, Sour Patch called both of them out. They won't come out right now.
Sit right in this garage with the door open. Yeah, go ahead and drive by. I'm here.
I'm talking about back doors. Beavis will come out.
Leafy's got her track shoes on.
I'm not scared of nobody.
Still?
Yeah, they want to make sure it's out.
Conway is peeking out the blinds. He's working the windows on the inside. He's peeking out the blinds, looking for a car.
Oh, they would have had that out by days ago.
Yeah, it's like
You should know these stupid fucking cut.
I just hope the guy got his garbage burned. Yeah.
Yeah, he got it burned alright. He's got a big bill to pay now.
That'd probably be a mistake on your part, but come on by.
Yeah, he'll probably be lucky if he can keep his house.
Steve Dave will show you his front home. Steve Dave will show you his...
Hopefully it was just renting.
They're gonna give him a big ass bill.
Hopefully it was just renting.
You should know everything. You know everything. You're so smart. Figure it out.
No, I don't think he's gonna be living in Renton.
Oh, I hope he's just renting. That way, he don't have to, he ain't buying anything, he's just renting.
Oh, renting. Yes, okay, I got it.
Alright, not renting, just visiting.
Hey, if he's just renting, then yeah, he can probably get out of it pretty well, but they'll probably still try to stick him with a pretty fat bill.
Why do you even care?
Just for being a dumbass.
You don't think you have better things to do?
I'm waving at that inspector.
Waving over to that Lazy Dave. You can hear me now, but...
Boy, howdy, can I hear you now? Much better than you were.
Uh-huh.
Before you were just a trace in the bottom of my radio. Now you're a competitor.
Right? Yeah, I walk over here every once in a while and get on the old station. Even Dirtman can hear me.
Come on, get it right, you dumb bitch.
Got put that quiet by Sour Patch Shut.
It's working.
Let me know when the giveaway is going.
When the what?
Oh, this is going to be bad for you.
I got my money on Sour Patch. You got like 20 years on the side. I don't know, I've got my money on Sour Patch. Leslie's got a long hole out there with a wig. Leslie's got a long hole out there with a wig and a little crop tank top.
Well, I guess that's that.
Uh-oh.
We're so dumb.
comes that penetration station.
Uh-oh.
I don't hear any big fans. Sound like sleepy worked up. Oh shit, you really ugly? Oh shit. Oh, you should have ran video on that shit. I thought you were gonna kick somebody's ass, you little snake. Run, little girl, run. We're picking on a girl between women. Was that Nova ready to hit the street there, the brothers?
He bust out of here. He bust out of my neighborhood.
Guitar show every time we go in the garage, same day.
Yeah, but you're the only one seeing it.
You're lucky you didn't get your ass beat. I'm not going to jail over you, but I'll tell you what. I'll make it so you can't fucking get out. You stay the fuck away from my house, you hear me?
Uh-oh, we got a little freaking spit spat between those cat girls.
Cat fight?
You've been warned, you fucking cunt. You hear me? You've been warned.
Alright, cat fight.
We got a cat fight.
Your stalker bitch, come back around. I dare ya.
Wow.
I don't know what the fuck you were expecting when you stopped out there. I told you not to.
You get a double-ended dildo and work it out.
You didn't get the shit beat out of you because I was about 2 steps from it.
I guess we lost Beavis.
He said, what is 3 steps? And
He'd probably climb back in the closet.
we're satisfied now.
Dang, Beavis is missing out on the cat fight.
Just keep warning. You hear me?
I thought you were going to pull on the driveway. I know you're stupid.
Man, they need to get a double-ended dildo and work it out.
I'm gonna bring up you are. Stay the fuck out of my neighborhood.
I guess you got a neighborhood.
I can almost hear the other person.
Sounds like a territorial dispute.
Yeah, 10.
Somebody's gonna get shot tonight.
Can't believe that international can't even make it to Olympia. Sweet Pea tried to hit you with a metal pipe? That's horrible.
I bet it would, but yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
Now she's gonna let her pussy and shoot you with it.
That's really bad, Sweet Pea.
So you gotta get your trust and comfortable with all the running operandi there.
No, you just gotta do it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think I'm just going to let it get to, warm it up till it's running its worst, and I'm going to take it for a drive and see how bad it really is, and go from there.
Carry on. Tell me what after Sour Patch is a metal pipe. I still got a grand. sourcrosh with a metal pipe. There's actually 5 of us out there. So yeah,
Imagine the ecological benefits to the rest of us that he drives around in his propane vehicle maintains.
pipe. Sleepy had a big old metal pipe in her hand and tried to...
No, he's not.
And you tried to take it out. That's fucked up. Why did
He could, possibly.
big old pipe...
I took it for a drive down the road yesterday.
Delirious with your story, and Nikki P. You want to go there?
I didn't drive it very far down the road, but I drove it down the road and back. I was in the, warm-up process, so yeah, but I took it for a little drive yesterday.
Why'd you go out there with a metal pipe? That's fucked up. I thought you were...
Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do with it, even if it starts running rough when it's hot or if it runs better when it's cold, it's just to get it running.
Oh yeah, runs great when it's cold, man. When you first start that thing up, that thing is ready to go. It runs good. It starts getting warm and it starts, having it starts acting like the accelerator pump isn't working, and then it wants to miss on 1 or 3 cylinders, and yeah, and then it starts getting funky when it gets up to operating temperature. When it starts getting around 180, it's not happy.
Don't you worry about it. You want to play? Come on by too.
Well, that's when it should be happy.
I agree. It should be completely happy by that time. And there isn't really anything left in the ignition system to change. Well, I guess I could maybe get a new distributor, but yeah, I mean, shit, everything else has been replaced.
I still got $1,000.
Oh, good for you.
Come on over, I'll show you my pipe.
Does it use a traditional cooling system? Does it have a radiator, a fan, and all that?
Oh yeah, no, it's got all that. Yeah, there's nothing different there.
They were out there, and the people on the other side of them were out there. I'm wondering why this girl was over at our house giving us shit. And I told them what happened.
The only thing different is the fuel system, where you've got an evaporator, regulator, and your fuel air mixture, which, quote, is sort of like a carburetor that goes on the intake manifold.
Put some gas in that thing and throw that thing away.
Well, then I'm going to have to buy a carburetor, because it doesn't have a carburetor that uses gasoline, so I'd have to do that. Then I have to see what the gas tank's like. Yeah, I don't know.
Does it have an actual gas tank, or was it always propane?
No, it has a gas tank. It used to actually be, you could actually used to switch it over from gasoline or propane, but, after the carburetor went to shit, he changed it over to just strictly propane. But yeah, it still has a gas tank in it. It's still there, that's for sure. I don't know what kind of condition it's in, because it hasn't had gasoline in it in probably 30 years.
We'll fill it up.
And it's probably not great, because it would be a steel tank, and with gasoline vapors in it for 30 years, that's going to get some moisture in there.
Yep, it hasn't had gasoline in it in probably 30 years, that's for sure. And it hasn't had a carburetor on it in about 30 years. So yeah, that would be, and the fuel pump's been deleted, so then you gotta get an electric fuel pump so you can get fuel to it, because they deleted the old mechanical one. And then you got to figure out, what are the fuel lines like.
Still got $1,000.
Yeah, you're more. If you were gonna do that, you'd be better off getting an old new gas cell to put in the back where the fucking propane tank is, and then roll with fucking new fuel lines, new everything, fuel pump, all of it new.
I mean, it's not far off, because it runs really good when it's cold. I mean, it's got really good throttle response. It runs good when it's cold. It's just when it gets up to temp, it's not happy when it gets up to temp. So I know, it's just a matter of figuring out what the little issue is. So, and yeah, it would be really expensive to switch it back over to gasoline, that's for sure.
What's it doing, Inspector?
It misses when it gets up to temperature. It stumbles like it needs an accelerator pump, and then it also tends to miss on like 1 to 3 cylinders. Not all the time. It's intermittent.
The point distributor?
Yep.
See what happens.
And already did all that, Maytag. It's all been changed.
Spark plugs.
I did plugs, wires, cap, rotor, condenser. I filed the points out because they actually looked really good. They weren't even pitted. So yeah, I mean, I pretty much replaced all the ignition system stuff, except for the distributor.
So make sure the mechanical advance is working.
Yep, advance is working. I've already checked that.
Is there a pickup inside that distributor at all? A magnetic pickup?
No, it's points.
Yeah, the vacuum advance works, so that diaphragm's good, and mechanical advance is functioning. I mean, yeah, I mean, not that would make a difference whether it's hot or cold.
I think it's operator error.
So David, do you run a balance resistor in line there to the hot of the coil or not? What's the call for on that?
So, try that again?
I said, do you run a ballast resistor in line to the hot of the coil on that, or what is it call for on that rig?
No, it does not have a ballast resistor in there.
Well, see how many volts you're getting to that coil on key on and crank and see what that's doing. Because you shouldn't have more than 6 or 7 volts going to that.
I mean, it's never had a ballast resistor in its life there, so I can't see where that would make a difference at this point after sitting for 20 years.
Oh, it should make a difference, but what it has a resistance wire.
Pedal to the metal.
It runs okay when you put it pedal to the metal. Once you get past it, you know, having to pull the load, when it wants to miss when it wants to pull the load, and then once you get up to speed, then it seems to be okay. So it's just, you know, it's that acceleration. You know, when it's cold, it doesn't matter. It's just happy all the way around. But when it gets up to temp, it's unhappy when you put it under load.
What kind of carbs on it? A Motorcraft or Autolite 2-barrel?
It's not a carbureted truck. It's a propane truck. Doesn't have a carburetor. Well, I mean, it kind of has something like a carburetor, but it doesn't have a real carburetor.
Oh, that's right. It's still running on propane.
If you can switch from fuel to propane, it probably can do both.
At one time, it could when it actually had a carburetor on it with the propane attachment to the top. That's been eliminated and it's strictly propane now. So you can't go back and forth anymore unless you want to buy some more parts, like a carburetor and the propane adapter to go on a carburetor. But it doesn't have that setup anymore.
Okay, I got you, Inspector.
Yeah, of course. Lay down.
I'll still sell it to the guy in Wyoming for $5, but I think I got a guy in Centralia that'll give me $7.
Oh, you're selling it?
I may. We'll have to see.
If somebody will give me $7 grand for it, I probably would.
Had a little chat. Walked back to her van.
I mean, as the guy in Centralia, I told him I might sell, I said I would probably get $5 out of it, and he says, oh, don't sell it for that, because you can get more than that for it, and he wants it.
In that condition, you could easily get 7 for it. I would say 10. Even with the issue that because I'm sure somebody will probably just fucking convert it back to gas for that anyways. Because the thing is it's pretty fucking straight. Like, you're not going to find too many internationals that are straighter than that.
Or with less rust.
Yeah, and there's like almost no rust on it at all. And I don't remember seeing any cancer in the actual body, like, that went through. Maybe some surface rust, but it looked mostly just dusty.
Very, very minimal rust, yes. There are a couple of spots, but they're they're really small. And it's definitely not the rocker panels or the back of the front fenders or the back corners of the cab.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a very, very, very nice resto project. Like, it's halfway there kind of thing.
It's pretty clean, I will say that. That's for sure. It's just, it's just got a little issue I got to try to work out here. We'll get her. It's just, it's just frustrating me at the time because I really want to be able to do it and get it done and get it out there on the road to where I can, make it run good all the time instead of just part of the time.
If you get that issue worked out, I would say I'd start at 10 and try for 12. Because right now a truck like that, you can easily get that from the right guy. If somebody wants it bad enough, they'll pay it.
Still not going to make it, just the way it is.
For months. Yeah, last time I talked to you, I think you were getting ready to rebuild the brake booster. Sure, new spark plugs and caps and rotors. There's been a lot of progress there.
And brakes. What I had to do to the brakes to get them all functional, too.
I wouldn't even worry about brakes as long as the e-brake works.
I haven't tried the e-brake. Well, I'll tell you, when you hit that brake pedal, you'll come to a stop in a fucking hurry.
Yeah, Inspector, the last time I talked to you, you were getting ready to rebuild the brake booster.
Oh yeah, that got rebuilt, and I got the new master cylinder on there, and I've bled the brakes and got all new fluid in it and all that, and yeah, the brakes are great, man. You stand on you hit that brake pedal, you're coming to a stop in a hurry, and it doesn't pull to the right or the left, so it works good.
So how long have you had it up on the road now?
I've driven it on the road a few times, but we're just having that issue. When it gets up to temperature, it develops a mist, and I can't find a vacuum leak. It had a little one, and I fixed it, and that didn't seem to affect it because it still does it. It runs good cold. When you fire it up first thing and it's cold, man, that thing runs good. When it gets up to 180 degrees, it's not very happy.
We'll fire that bugger up and head for Lake Ferry. About halfway there, shut her down.
There you go. I know. I think it'd probably make it there. It's just it'd be a bitch if you have to start hitting the stop and go to get it to the parking spot.
Well, I want to see.
Like an old Studebaker, man. You just got to pull it over after the first few 20 miles or so to fill her up with water,
20 miles? Shit, it's not even 20 miles to where it needs to go. I'm tempted to take it to the Little Creek. That's even closer than the Lake Fair.
I don't think so.
I know so.
Downtown to Camelchi, and I think downtown's closer.
Nope, it's not. It takes me 18 minutes to get to downtown Olympia. I can be at Little Creek in 15 minutes.
Oh, same difference. Get your ass that truck over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what it does tomorrow. I'm gonna take her up to temperature, and I'm actually gonna take it for a lengthier drive, even if I have to sit and wait for it to cool off, or get it back in gear and see if it'll go home. But I think it'll run down the road okay. It just doesn't like the stop and go, or being taken from neutral into drive.
5:30 is the car show. Be in Lake Fair.
Right.
We'll say, I bet you if you put that down there at Lake Fair for that car show with a $10,000 price tag in the window, you might have somebody buy it.
I don't doubt that, actually, because I've already got one guy that's, he's kind of got the hots for it, and he keeps bugging me about it. And it's not you, Maytag, because your price is about, you know, $8,000 less than what he's kind of thinking about.
Look at say, it wasn't me.
And I think if I pulled the engine out of it and the transmission out of it, I think the guy in Wyoming would still pay $5 grand for it. Because he's looking for a short box.
Yeah, he wants the body. I mean, it's straight. It'd be a great thing to put any motor in, to be honest with you. And that's what I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure you could get 10 grand out of it to somebody that wants to put another motor in it. Something that runs on gas, you know?
You know, one of the popular things, I guess, to do with these is to stick them on a Crown Vic chassis.
Oh, a Panther chassis?
Yeah, they like to take a Crown Vic and then set the truck body on it so that you can have like a lowered two-wheel drive pickup.
I don't think that would be too much different in size. That's actually a really good idea.
Apparently it works quite well. I've seen several of them that were already done, you know, online anyway.
Did they keep the police interceptor motor and, you know, rear end in it too? Because those fuckers would be quick.
Yep. That's all they did was they take the Crown Vic chassis and they put the truck body on it.
The police interceptor motor didn't have that much more power, but the gearing in the rear end on those is what makes them launch.
I'm sure it has more power than the engine that's in that truck now.
Oh, so that's for sure. I think they're right around 300 horsepower, the 4.6.
Yeah, the 5-liter that's in that truck has 140 horsepower on gasoline, so it's less with propane. And of course, if you put it on a Crown Vic chassis, you're going to get much better braking, handling. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of improvements. But, you know, then it's not the old original truck.
True, but you know, you could go with like a 2000 or newer and get 4-wheel disc brakes and a bunch of stuff that you'd never have on that truck.
Oh yeah, I've already seen a few that were already done that way, and they look good. They do. And there's those people out there that look for those short box trucks to do that with, and then there's several that have taken the long box truck because they couldn't find a short box truck and made it a short box truck so that they can do that with it.
Yeah, I've seen people do that with like F-150s before. Take a short box and throw them on a car chassis like that. But I didn't think to do that with any truck. But I suppose just about anything will fit on there if you want to modify it right.
If you're looking to not keep it original, that's for sure. You can do all kinds of stuff. You know, that's like I say, you know, if I have an issue with this engine and this thing for any reason, you know, I would seriously consider an LS swap in that thing.
Even an LT1 would be fucking badass in that thing, you know what I mean? And probably a little cheaper than an LS.
Ah, yeah.
But I do like that idea too.
I've seen some people who've done the LS swaps in those as well, and yeah, they came out really nice. So you know, it's all a matter of how much money you want to spend. You know, I mean, considering I've got less than 1,000 into it, I suppose, you know, I've got a lot of options.
Yeah, on how much you want to spend.
Exactly.
That's one of the reasons I like the LT motors better than the LS, is because to get the engine itself is a lot cheap. You can find LT ones fucking cheap. LS ones not so much. And then building them is pretty much the same price, so you get, you know.
I'm just going to make it run. I'm going to make it go. It's going to happen. It's just, you know, I'm not there yet. You know, I've got other projects that have to get taken care of and other responsibilities that need addressed, and yeah, it's setting me back a little bit on that project, but I'll get that project going. It'll get there.
Probably just something you didn't see yet, you know. I mean, you got the condenser, you got the advance, and those are working. So it's probably there's got to be something else.
Something. I know it's something. You know, and then I'm reading about those evaporators, regulator things, you know, and they're like, oh, well, those should be changed, like, you know, every 10 years or whatever, and I'm like, well, this one's only like 30 years old. I don't know, but I'm not sure it would act like that because it acts like ignition issues more than carbureted fuel issues.
Yeah, it would just die, or it would be missing on a lot more cylinders more regularly if it was fuel, I feel like. Because how you describe it missing sounds way more like ignition.
I agree. I agree. I mean, the distributor might be worn out. I don't know. I you know, grabbed the rotor and I you know, moved the shaft around, and it didn't move at all. So I'm not really thinking, you know, I couldn't really change the point gap by, you know, pushing the shaft around on the distributor, so didn't appear to be worn out or anything, but, you know, who knows? We'll dig into it deeper.
A lot of those things, like, especially if it, like, I think you said it doesn't diesel at all when it's warm, correct?
Nope. No, there's no dieseling at all.
Yeah, that's a lot of times with those propane motors, if they have evaporator or like regulator, something, there's an issue with that. Oftentimes they'll diesel because it's either moving too fast or too slow, and it builds up in there. So when you shut it out, it'll do that little chug.
No, when you turn the key off, it's off, man. It's like, meh, done. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll figure it out. I got a couple of more options here to investigate, and then we'll see. But I'm gonna, you know, like I say, I think tomorrow I'm gonna just let her warm up until she's running the shittiest she can run, and then I'm gonna take it for a drive, and we'll see how far it goes, and how bad it really gets, or if it gets any worse. It'd be nice if I had a good exhaust system on it so I could tell, you know, if it's missing and which side. That would help a lot, you know, because sometimes it stumbles a little, and I'd like to know which side it is, but it's kind of hard to tell when you can't be at the, you know, tailpipe when it does it, because, well, it's all coming out the bottom of the mufflers. So my driveway's getting all chewed up because I keep stomping on the throttle and it keeps tearing shit up.
And what kind of motor was in that again?
It's got a 304.
No, that's right.
We'll get it, man. It's fairly close, so it's just a matter of working out the last of the details, and then she'll be a cruiser. But yeah, it's just frustrating in the meantime.
the fucking shit.
I wonder if it's something to do with the propane conversion.
And I'm wondering, is there, because I'm starting to read about, filters, propane filters, does that have a propane filter in there? And is there an issue with the propane filter? Is there an issue with the propane regulator? Because, well, the propane regulator is, 30 years old. And, hasn't been used in 23 of those 30 years. So, there's some other options that might be pertinent. I don't know. But it seems ignition related to me.
Did you have a dwell meter up on it?
I haven't put a dwell meter on it yet. I got to dig that out. We have a dwell meter here. I haven't seen it in 30 years, but I'm pretty sure I know where it is.
Supposed to be like 29 to 31, and it'll probably like it a little better. I can't remember. I had a point distributor, a GM point distributor, and something, and it liked it. But yeah, just as kind of a reference.
Right. Yeah. I've already been reading on that about, they're saying about 17 thousandths with a feeler gauge, or about 30-degree dwell.
Roger. But when you said it was temperate, when it warmed up, that started making me think of possibly that propane conversion. But no, there is filters for those. I mean, I don't know exactly what they did on that, when they did that conversion. But yeah, the regulator, some type of filter setup, yes, something.
Right. I need to, I tried calling a place today that deals with propane regulators and stuff, on motor vehicle engines and stuff, but they wanted me to leave a message or whatever, and I didn't. And I'm going to try to talk to them a little bit about, possible symptoms of something like this, and see what they have to say about that.
Exactly. If you can find somebody that's cool and will actually talk to you, half the time you call them and they don't want to give up no information.
Right, but this is an old system, and it's like, hey, if this is the issue, then you might be able to sell me a new, evaporator regulator, and I can put that on there, and maybe that's the issue. Maybe that needs replaced. I don't know, but I want to discuss it with somebody who, might have, some history of knowing about, propane systems on motor vehicles and some of the, issues that they can have when they get old.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I knew somebody that had one. It was a propane converted. It was like a camper van with the fiberglass, the extended top on it. I can't remember exactly what it was. Ford, Dodge, Chevy. But yeah, so what does it have? What does it have for a setup on it? What can you see that's been added on there?
They put the propane tank in, and then it's got a solenoid that turns the propane on or off, when you turn the key on, and then it's got the evaporator regulator, and then it goes to its, propane fuel-air mixture throttle body, basically, that's bolted onto the manifold. That's pretty much all you can see.
Pretty straightforward.
There's not much to it. But, that thing sat for, like I say, that thing sat for 23 years and didn't get touched.
Yeah, that's suspect.
And that is kind of suspect. And if there's a fuel filter, a propane fuel filter in there, which some systems have, I don't know what this has for a filter or where it would be, and that's where I need to talk to some of these people that deal with propane systems, and they might be able to help me out a little bit and give me an inkling of where I need to look, or what, potential problems that they've experienced, from other customers that, have tried to revive propane vehicles.
Just like when you're messing around with a gas stove or something, instead of with a pilot light and the burn. Yeah, and they want you to have something in line so you don't contaminate if you're running like rubber hose between a 5-gallon tank and a buddy heater or an appliance of some sort.
Right, you know, and I don't have any test equipment that's going to test anything in the propane department, but, you know, and the thing is it just runs so damn good when it's cold, you know? I mean, like in these warmer summer days like we've been having, I mean, I just turn the key over and it cranks over, bum, 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 and it just idles. It just fires up and idles. It runs good. It has really great throttle response when it's cold, but as it warms up, that throttle response goes to shit, and then it wants to miss when you put a load on it. You know, you stick it in drive and you stomp on the throttle and it's like, you know, and it's like, oh, well, it's missing 1 or 2, maybe 3 cylinders. Sometimes it's only 1 cylinder. Sometimes it's 3 cylinders.
So what's probably going on there, Inspector, is not metering the fuel all the way down into it for it to have something to burn. That's why it's firing like that. But no, that's definitely suspect. Yeah, because if you ain't got fuel there, you ain't gonna have power. And stumble, that could definitely be fuel. You got some issue going on, bro.
Right. So, you know, and I'm down to the fuel because, I mean, you know, it's got new spark plugs, new spark plug wires, new rotor, new cap, new condenser. You know, I mean, there's, the ignition system's pretty well covered, you know.
Yeah, I think, and it's like Big Al said too. He said, whoever buys that from you, they're just like he said, they're going to convert it right back to gas. Put some kind of a electric through line fuel pump on there. Switch it up the key. To some kind of a carb. Like I said, if I remember right, those had Autolite or Motorcraft 2 barrels on them.
Right, yeah, I think they actually, I want to say a Holly, but it may not have had a Holly on it. I know the 4-barrel ones had a Holly, but the 2-barrel one, I'm not sure what it had on it. But yeah, you can get carburetors for it. I've been reading lots in the forums and stuff about, people putting carburetors on them. They say just stay away from Edelbrock.
That's weird. I love Edelbrock. Most people always say to go with Holly, but I'm wondering if there's something that Edelbrocks just don't match up with them or something.
As far as that goes, all Edelbrock's carburetors, that's Edelbrock's name on a Carter carburetor. If I was going to have any of those, I would have the original Carter.
AFB? I mean, they just go by AFB now. You can get AFB carbs still too, but yeah, they still make Edelbrock. But yeah, I've always been a fan of them in trucks because I got tired of cleaning out fucking Hollies because of the dirt and dust gets in them and they don't fucking like it. The Edelbrock just in a truck, something that can get dusty. Never had a problem with one.
Oh yeah, no, I've got a couple original competition series ones laying around. No, Edelbrock a Carter AFB is a good street carburetor.
I think most of their like real race carbs nowadays are going to be the AFBs, because I've seen most of the ones I see in catalogs are like way bigger than like what they're offering for Edelbrock and stuff.
Well, that's amazing. Who bought that? It says Edelbrock on them, and if you look at the side of the casting, it says Weber. So Weber bought the rights to a Carter carburetor. Cast it, polished it, put Edelbrock's name on it. Yeah, but yeah. No, I know what you're talking about Hollies. I've adjusted the floats on them. I've seen them just out of nowhere. Start dumping gas. They're finicky.
I wouldn't personally ever put an Autolite on anything though. Personally, I've taken the Autolites off of all of my Fords and put Motorcrafts on them or Edelbrocks, because fuck Autolite carbs.
They're all the same thing. It's just a little universal 2-barrel carburetor.
the Motorcraft ones, you can get a replacement rubber throttle pump for them. The factory ones were cork, but I haven't found a single one that isn't cork for an Autolite. And that's both of those carbs on all of my Fords. That's the first thing that goes out, and then you got fuel leaking over the top of the engine everywhere.
Oh yeah, right up there by the distributor on a small block. Yeah, I know about that on Fords. And where the accelerator pump diaphragm starts leaking.
Yep, and then you got a hesitation every time you want to take off because you don't have any throttle pressure.
Hey Lord.
So what I was reading about these is a lot of people have switched them over from going with carburation. They've gone to the Sniper throttle body injection.
Holy Sniper EFI.
Right.
That would probably be the best way to go is EFI anyways. And yeah, that Holly kit is pretty dope. I mean, you're going to get a lot more power that way, that's for sure.
That, and they also like to switch them over to the Pertronics ignition, the electronic ignition.
Yeah, Roger, I know a guy that did that whole conversion there on a yeah, it was a wheeler. It was a it was a wheeler, but no, it turned out good. That fuel injection distributor package worked good.
Yeah, I've been reading about it, and yeah, I just want to try to get it going first before I start stepping into all that. But you know, if I can get it to run right first before I start trying to switch shit up, then you know I will. But if I need to, I'll probably go that route and start looking at the Pertronics and you know, maybe switching it back to gasoline and going with the Holly Sniper.
Yeah, when we first used that that kit, he put it on a 383 stroker, and had with that distributor, though, you know, the whole package had it up on there going. Something happened; it stopped working. Part of the two of the injectors weren't working. He sent it back to Holly. They stood by their product. They mailed him another one back, no charge. He put it back in there, and he was right back. He was right back going again.
If you want power, that's the way to go, for sure. But if it were me, I'd go electronic ignition if I couldn't get that figured out before I went anywhere else, just to see if that was the issue to begin with. Because like if you put an MSD or an Excel or something like that in there, and it solves the problem, you're going to know immediately it was ignition.
I agree, because the ignition is what it seems like to me, and that would be the next step for me, I think, would be to get that Pertronics in there.
See if they're bumping open good on every lobe, but just by what he's describing,
But I'm going to get off the big antenna.
It sounds like a fuel issue.
If we're off the big antenna, we'll catch you on the small one.
Yeah, I'm going back to my mud duck station, man. I got to get out of here. But anyway, yeah, we'll figure it out eventually here. I wish it was sooner than later, but yeah, you know, life gets in the way sometimes.
Take it easy, Inspector. Good luck, bro.
Alright, we'll get her going. We'll get her going. I just, you know, get a little frustrated sometimes and think that maybe I need to send it away, but, you know, I'm not ready to send it away yet, man. That was, you know, that was my mother's truck, and I want to drive it.
So if you're ready to go, if you're ever ready to go MSD on that thing, let me know. I've hooked up quite a few of them.
Alright.
Mostly on Fords and Mazdas, but like the box itself is the same.
Well, what the hell are you running tonight there, Al? You kind of loud.
I'm running I got the fan in the background, that might be kind of loud too, but I got the Striker in line. I've had it. It's pretty much the same thing I've been running for the last month or so.
Yeah, that's the fan in the background. No, she's definitely kicking right out there. That's a loud radio. Kind of overloads my receive. I got to back my RF gain down a little bit.
I can turn it down a bit. I mean, it shouldn't be too overmud, because I've listened to it on other people's YouTube gates, and it sounded alright, but we can back it down a little bit if it's overloading everybody.
This radio, this Jackson, has an AGC problem, but I could turn my RF gain up more right there. But no, it's sounding good, man. You're definitely sounding good.
Well, you're the second person to tell me today that it was front-end overloading the radio, so I don't need that much audio. Most of the people that are listening to me are listening to me on a CB radio, not something that's designed to hear that.
There was a service bulletin on these fucking Jacksons that says something about the receive there on real strong signals, and that's pretty much what this one does.
Delusional.
The Magnums back in the day. The Magnum, and then the couple of the Generals had that same thing. They get some capacitors that go bad on the AGC, and then it's just pure receive. You can hear really well until someone close keys up. Either that or you get somebody that put a Schwarzschild diode in it and then didn't give you a switch to turn that off.
Like I said, I'm gonna buy a new radio for the mobile here before too long.
You got a new neighbor, Rob. Bring it on. That's fine. Bring it on. I'm sure my
Everything I've heard you talking on sounds pretty good. Maybe put a little power behind it.
The President Jackson export.
Yeah, that's the base, right?
No, it's a mobile. It's like a, I think they made a grant. There was also an export version. It's got the FM, all the channel banks, portion fine clarifier, all unlocked, Roger beep, 10 kilohertz button. It's got all that shit on it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I could have sworn there was like a Jackson that was a base station too, like a 10-meter base station. Maybe I'm incorrect. I don't remember.
No, it was something. It was called. It wasn't a president. It was Stonewall Jackson or something. It looked like a galaxy. I know what you're talking about. Base.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was like a galaxy. It was like a what do you call it? The galaxy. Saturn, or like the 2547, the 10-meter base stations. Yeah, it was a General. That's right.
Yeah, no, I have a Saturn Turbo. That's been my mainstay base radio for probably 15 years. It's a nice radio.
Probably one of my favorite radios. That and the Excalibur, the Colt Excalibur, is probably my favorite of those radios, but the Saturn would be my second, the Turbo.
I used to have one of the original first style Saturns, and then and then I got one years later, found a Saturn Turbo, and it was at a pawn shop, and I bought it instantly.
I'd like to pick up an Excalibur, Colt Excalibur, even if it's broke. Because I've always wanted to put like a 2995 board in it or something, something different. Because it's the same radio chassis they used in all of those fucking radios. Put the guts from a Saturn Turbo in it, but just so that I could have the brushed aluminum face instead of the black.
Yeah, Roger. That radio you're talking about, does that have the FM on it?
What's that?
That radio you were just talking about, you said something you'd like to find what? Because I seen one of those on eBay.
Yeah, the Colt Excalibur. I see them pop up all the time. Motor Mouse got one that he's going to put a DDS VFO, I think he said, in it. Like one of those new digital ones. that replace your PLL. But yeah, those. I always like the look of it because it's got that brushed aluminum face, but it looks. I mean, it looks just like a Saturn, really, in the front.
I seen that radio. Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. That kind of caught my eye. But yeah. No, I know the radio. So what's that supposed to have in it? A 8719 chip?
I believe so. It's, as far as I know, it's identical to a Galaxy Saturn. Really, inside, there's not really any difference. They do the same power. They had all the same, AM/FM sideband. All the trim. It's just it's in an aluminum case and made by Colt instead of Galaxy.
Yeah, Roger. Well, that's a PLL, and then they put a bunch of action chips around it on like a sub board or something like that to get the channel banks out of it. But there's several different ways you can do that.
I believe it's that PLL chip. If Motormouth is out here, he could tell me, and he probably would. I'm surprised. Actually, I should check my phone. He might have texted me that already if he's sandbagging on the stream.
I know what chip's in it. MC145106.
But yeah, they're a good solid radio. I mean, they'll do about 45 watts. Like a basic Saturn would, the non-turbo.
Yeah, Roger. I think my I got my Saturn turned down. I mean, it's not cranked up. I don't want the fry the finals in the amp. But what's that have, like 22290s in there?
Well, the turbo, I think, and like the original 2995s had those in them. But these ones, I think, are just a dual. I think they're a 1969 final too. The old Mitsubishis. They might have been ERF. No, because I don't think ERF 2030s even existed yet. So my guess is those would be 1969, two 1969 finals in it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's a basic sideband, it was a sideband final back in the day, but yeah, the 1969s. Well, like this Jackson, this is a dual final. It's got the pin on the back. 10 watts dead key, AM and FM. 26. I just lost power.
What? You lost, like, actual AC power?
No, the power to this radio, but no, this is a dual final. This radio here might actually have MOSFETs in it.
Yeah, 10. Are those the ERF 2030 MOSFETs or the IRF 520s?
I'm not sure exactly, but I know this is a dual final radio.
About how old is it?
Jackson was that was the first round of export radios. So you figure back, I'd say late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, that's probably got it. If it doesn't have 1969s in it, it would have probably two ERF 2030s. I know when the Magnums came out, they were still using 1969 finals. And then the S9s went to like a 2 ERF 2030s. I mean, it's the difference of like a 20 watt final and a 25 watt final or something like that.
Yeah, and then some of the Galaxies use it's kind of a bigger transistor in the back, kind of by where the antenna connector is. It's like a 2SB 754. They have an upgrade for that online. That you can upgrade that and yeah, it's a lot better.
Yeah,
Well, if it actually, you know, it probably doesn't have if you're sure it's MOSFETs, then it's probably ERF 2030s. Now that I'm thinking about it, because 1969s were bipolar.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something different. This is like a power regulator or something for in a Galaxy, and they say that one of the popular upgrades was to upgrade it to a different transistor, some super mod kit, or I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah, the voltage regulators, that's a big thing right now in pretty much everything. Like everything from like a Cobra 29 on. Like most of them, there's a much more solid one that you can just stick right in there. It's electrically, what do you call it? It's an electrical replacement, so like you can just solder it in and it's good to go.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, for Cobras and Galaxies and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of shops will do that for you. They'll put that in there. It's basically just a more solid voltage regulator, so you don't like most of those radios, like the first thing to go out is that voltage regulator, you know. So that's why they did that, especially when you get like on an export radio like these Strikers. It's always good to run that bigger one, because you know you're dealing with a lot more and you want constant power. You don't want it to totally screw the radio up when you're done.
I replaced one on the first Galaxy Saturn I had, non-turbo. And I lost key up. I lost power on AM. I switched that out, put a new one in there, and she was right back online.
Yep, I gotta do that. I have a Magnum S980 that it's all tore up. I'm pretty sure that's what it is now, because here's just fine. Everything's just fine. The finals are all good. I checked the amplifier final. It's all good. And yeah, it's got to be that voltage regulator now.
Okay, so if I buy an FM kit for my Cobra 2000, can you put it in?
With really good instructions, yeah, but I don't think I'm really into doing that.
Alright, I got you. It's two different.
I'll say I could figure it out, but I'd prefer not to work on anybody's radios anymore.
Metal behind it, so it's
I do it for myself because I like to keep my stuff working without buying new stuff all the time. And I like to buy other people's burned up junk and make it work for me. But yeah, I'm not a radio shop.
And then the video I sent you, that's the one I'm talking on right now. It's a long time. If I can get FM on that radio, I'd definitely keep it. But yeah, like I said, I'm entertaining trades if it's the right trade. And that's that long radio right there. Yeah, long radio's where it's long radio.
You can definitely get a good FM radio out of that and some cash, though, because those things, I mean, like if you look at eBay, people want gold for them. But they are legit worth like $500 in any decent working condition. You know what I mean?
I'm looking at this radio's nice, bro. Trust me. Swinging.
Well, yeah, you told me it was pretty much mint, and it still has the box. So yeah, my guess is it's probably worth a little bit more than $500 to the right buyer. Yeah, I don't know that you're gonna get $1,200 out of it, like you see those ones on eBay go for, but like I don't know how people, like I have seen a few on eBay with both speakers in mint condition like that for like $1,200, but they were on there for a long time with that buy it now price before I saw them disappear. So they either unlisted them or someone finally was dumb enough to buy it for that price.
No, they were. I seen one. I watched it, and it sold for pretty good money. But no, I know what you mean, bro. Like I said, that's, you know, I'm not just itching to sell it. Yeah, you know that's kind of like that amp you got laying around. You know what I mean? It's something just like how, you know, it's sometimes it's good to have stuff like that laying around. Audio.
Yeah, I have my collection of things I use every day, and I got my collection of things that I just wanted to have. Like, I got radios here that aren't really any good. I bought them because I like the look of them. You know what I mean? They're fucking cool. You know, and they're old, so, and they work. Like, I have a couple of Motorola's I bought just because I like the look of the Motorola's, you know what I mean? They're not great radios. I've never really used them other than to key it up and see if it worked. But, you know, they're cool to look at.
What are they?
Old Motorola.
Well, yeah, like what? Like what model? You talking like a mobile, a portable, what?
Well, I have a base station Motorola. That one I think is in a box in my closet though, so I don't have it sitting out here. The other one doesn't have a model number on the front, and I don't want to get up and look at it right now, but it's a little mobile.
With like the control head right on it, or is it separate? And then the base one, is it tan color? Like a Motorola, like a consolette base?
They're both like well, this one's kind of a beige, but it's kind of yellow from age. I could probably clean it up a bit. But the other one is like a bakelite case. It's like white. It looks a lot like the old Midland bases. Yep, it has a very similar case to it, just a little bit different on the front.
But the other one, the beige one like that, how big is that, like square wise, you know, size wise?
The little mobile's probably a little bit bigger than like a Cobra 20, like a Cobra 19, like a little smaller than like a Cobra 25 chassis. Like, you know, the old Cobra 19 like GTLs and stuff that had like the almost Cobra 29, 25 case to them. It's about that big.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right there, yep, that's 15-1.
It's got the little the knobs are kind of built into the face, so you slide them from the top.
And you don't know what frequency they're on?
What, those radios? Oh, they're CB. They're both CBs.
Oh, okay.
We'll see how long it lasts if I run it like that, but,
You're talking about a Motorola MoCat.
make it swing a little bit more.
Yeah, I think the mobile is. I don't know if they called I'd have to look, but yeah, that's the name I was trying to think of for this thing, the Motrack.
Yeah, State Patrol used those CBs in their cars. They were actually they're fairly strong radios.
Yeah, it's a Motorola. They are kind of the king of this game.
Yeah, I'm familiar with those.
So I don't have to go upstairs and look. I'm trying to find the, that looks similar to it, but I don't think it's either of those. It might be this 4009. That's the mobile, but the base I'm not seeing a picture of. Ah, here it is. It is a Motorola, the base station is a Motorola CB radio base station model T4025A.
So just a 40 channel AM base?
Yeah, yeah, it's just AM. 40 channels, and I don't know. I think mine might have been 20. I don't know if mine was 23 or 40. The one I'm looking at here on eBay is 40, and it looks just like mine. So mine might be of the 40 channel. I'd have to check on that, because I didn't play around too much with it. I just turned it to channel 20 and tested it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Roger. I had a Motorola Mobile back in the day.
And I think this mobile, it doesn't have the tag on it on the back. I just looked at it, but I think it's a 4009, because it looks like that, comparing it to the picture I found on Google.
And when I get inside and get on the computer, I'll look at it and see what that looks like.
And I just put it next to a Cobra 25, so it's about the size of that. It's actually a little bit longer. Yeah, I didn't think this thing would be going for like $245 though. This base station. I don't know that it's worth that. But maybe. I have the same stuff. I still have the box for that one. It's in its box, and I have the factory microphone.
Oh, is there one of those on eBay for sale?
Yeah, there's one on eBay right now. Well, I think it's the same one. It looks the same. For $245.
Yeah, I think I've seen that when I was, I think I saw that radio.
Yeah, and yeah, mine looks just like that, and it has the same microphone. It's that beige, like, my guess is it was beige, they're both kind of yellowed from age, and my guess is they were beige, not white, because, this one looks pretty beige, and it looks cleaner than mine. I did buy mine off of eBay, though. I found it, and it said, like, new in box on the eBay ad, but when I got it, it's very clearly been used. It just had the original box.
I don't think Motorola sold a lot of base radios.
Didn't sell a lot of CB radios at all. And they were probably quite expensive when they were new too, because Motorola's always been more expensive than everybody else, for no reason at all. They make really, really good radios. And most of, like, all of the innovation that we've had, like, AM Sequam stereo, like FM stereo, like all of these chips and everything that we use in radio now are pretty much all Motorola inventions. But they want gold for their radios.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we've had Motorola radios for years. My brother was heavy into them.
We come together, get the fire started, yeah, we the life of the party is true. Like, look at that vibe, everybody gather around. Look at that, shine, light it up till the lights go down. Look at that smile every time you come around. I feel like I'm brand new. I'm singing you and me. You know we make a real good company. Hey, alright, say you and me. You know we make some real good company. And you can stay as long as you like. And you can stay as long as you like. I'm singing you and me. You know we make some real good company.
Big Al, you still in there?
Yeah, I was just taking a break. People are getting annoyed.
Yeah, they're really going to get annoyed because I'm going to go jump on the base. Take the rest of my joint in there, turn the Galaxy on.
Jagger. Mother trucker.
Talk about good timing.
Yeah, 10.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Give me like a regular voice.
5 count, that's like, are we like pouring drinks here or what?
Oh wow, I kind of think on that thing.
Yeah, I think it's the room, dude. That's what I thought this whole time too.
I mean, I actually have echo sound effects on that radio, and I haven't heard it a little bit too much.
No, man, it's Star Trek time.
More than I normally have.
I noticed it the last time I heard you talking on this.
That wasn't no 10 minutes that you were gone. You were gone for like 5. You gotta work on that math.
When you were at home, I thought that it was echoey.
Well, here's the van. Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, but I'm gonna figure out what it says.
Alright, baby mama. Love you. I'll catch you on the I'll be home early.
Yeah, original Star Trek goes from 8 to 9, and Next Generation is 9 to 10 o'clock, and now Deep Space Nine is on. It starts at 10. And so on and so forth. And what about midnight is the Enterprise one with the stupid intro music. How do you like that one though? It's like some love song for the intro on that Star Trek Enterprise too. Where the Scott Bakula, the guy that used to be in where you like go back in time or be somebody else and you get that buddy named Ziggy or something. Yeah. That's the same actor. Scott Bakula. They're pretty good on my TV and movie trivia, especially like the classic shit. Good evening, MAD. Yeah, we're just kicking back, relaxing. Oh, that's the good stuff too. I tried the animal mince one. That one's not too bad too. Now that's one I don't think I've tried that I've always wanted to try, so I'm gonna have to try it now. Maybe I'll get that one next time.
Getting on down. Getting on down.
Another good one that I've only tried a few times, and it's kind of like playing a donkey rider. Base amp before, but it's supposed to have a nice punch. It'll go good. I have a 15-inch cabinet, and this thing works the best with, it gets its full power when you hook another 8-ohm cab to it, so I'll try that out. I can't wait to try it though. Have a good one, MAD. Fun, fun, fun. Hey, Winder Bender's sad because the trailer park's not out here today. So lonely. Audio, audio, audio. Winder Bender's so lonely, he's so lonely, he could die. I think the first thing I should try playing with the bass on it is the opening part of Megadeth Peace Cells, but who's buying? I love that intro with the bass there. Ready some Tool. No, you're the piece of shit and we all know it. Kappa! You're outclassed on Channel 17, man. You go find somewhere else to talk where, like you can, like, be the boss.
What do you call him? Wiener Wrangler?
Yeah.
Nice. Good evening, Captain Kathy.
There you are, waving CP.
Waving 727. Why, yes, he is. Old Wiener Bender, 516 Federal Way, Tacoma, standing by. It'd be a hit.
Even in his country.
Then he could buy a radio.
Did I say it right, Wiener Bender?
And he's back out.
It's probably one of the stupidest recordings of them all that he's got. Besides, you know, that whatever the Dyna one is or whatever, that doesn't make any sense either. None of them do. He just doesn't. He's so dumb. He doesn't realize that they all make sense.
Here it comes.
Can you quack like a duck when you suck? Can you buck like a horse when we fuck? Can you take every inch of your butt? Can you shit on my chest for good luck? Can you quack like a duck when you suck?
I think you're lonely and you need to go back to Love's Truck Stop.
Hey, tonight's our Aurora Borealis view. He'll be there working during the Aurora Borealis, so you can get a good view while you're getting done up by the Wiener Bender at the truck stop, and he got down.
Hey, Winterbender, you can go online and get an English dictionary, and it shows the pronunciation of how it's said, and there's no U sound in that word that you were saying. It's an A sound, and it shows you how to pronounce it in the English dictionary. Webster's English dictionary, mind you.
Oh my god. Does he drive a BMW?
Obviously, you didn't go to school in Washington State if you think all that shit about English is true. Because that's not what they taught in our schools in Washington State. I'm sorry to prove you wrong there, but I can go get the factory right now. That's totally wrong and about the opposite of what is true.
As usual with the old Wiener Bender, the opposite of what is true. Yeah, I'm tearing you a new asshole tonight, huh?
What kind of greeting is that? Right here, really?
Bullshit! Shut up, you dumbass.
Oh, you started to tell stories like Midnight Lightning. Remember how Midnight Lightning used to say, like, he flew helicopters and all this shit? And he worked at the France Bakery in downtown. That's the most fucking shit he ever did.
The bread man got down. Yeah, try to keep your hands on your own stick. I know it's hard. If you just put it on autopilot, you wouldn't crash.
Just when he eats too much kava and he farts.
You can't. You are a cunt.
Hey, wiener vendor. So, you know, like a tin can or a can of pop? How would you pronounce that? Would it be a con of pop? I'm gonna take a cut of pop. No, that's not how we say it. There's an A sound. Like asshole.
You should know that sound, because you are one.
Can't get into your big stupid head.
It's like going to school all over again, like you never did here, and you're back quiet.
You just can't get it.
You cunt.
I can't understand why.
He's a cunt.
An ant can't wear pants. Use the word for the rest of the night. We'll, you know, try to use it in every sentence.
I can't do that.
That's what, you know, we gotta teach him.
And I can't play the game if you're not gonna play their caffeine.
And I can't find his house if he can't tee up when I'm in the neighborhood. I can't hear him.
Yeah, I don't hear him. I can't. He had to cool his amp off for a second.
You can't reach the button.
That's how we roll.
This just sounds so wrong.
You can't be serious.
I hate this, man. We don't go around saying the C word. The ladies would not like it, okay? So it just proves it right there. That's not how we say it over here, dude. Is it kind of too much like another word, you know, that women don't like? Yeah, you probably meet all kinds of ethnicities at the truck stop when you're ready. I don't have any brothers. I have friends that are like brothers. I would, but I can't find my wallet.
Well, that sure didn't kill its plan, did it?
How long have you lived on the West Coast there? I wanted to say Washington. How long have you lived on the West Coast there, Wiener Bender? See, we speak West Coast English. Is that better for you? Does that make more sense?
Come on, Travis. You should pick up your girlfriend.
I mean, you got like that Jersey English and Boston English. If you want to put it that way. Want to get real technical.
Well, I'm young and cynical. It's not my only crime. I've been stealing all your cigarettes. Say the medicine. In case you haven't noticed, I just give them all away. Tell me, what do you think of me now? That I traded all my honor for the crowd. Come on, what do you do with me now? That I've taken down the mirror on the wall, and I'm free when it's ready to fall. I'm giving it up for you. Giving it up for you. Will I take a lot of medicine I don't really need? Well, I was drinking at 11, getting high at 17. So now I don't appreciate the taste of expensive wine. Tell me, what do you think of me now?
Marijuana. Yeah, I don't know much more than that. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, I think back when I was real bad drunk, man, that really fried my brain. And it took like 2 years for my brain to recover. But then, like, my brain was like going 90 miles an hour, and it was hard to go to sleep. You know, when my brain came back, that's when I really started smoking a lot more weed, and it kind of leveled me out. Yeah, it's really got my sleep back in order. Everything's way better now. Yep, feeling good. If I just cut down on the peanut butter cups, I'll be good.
Can't remember what stand-up comic said it, but I think it was Doug Benson. Yeah, it was Doug Benson, because he did that Super High Me, where he proved that marijuana is better for you than eating McDonald's. Unless your apartment is across the street from a McDonald's, then marijuana is just as bad for you.
7-Eleven.
Ooh, crazy's what they think about me. Ain't gonna stop 'cause they tell me so. 'Cause 99 miles per hour, baby, is how fast that I like